When we think about 20th century philosophy, one important name that stands out is Gilbert Ryle. Ryle was a British philosopher who played a major role in the development of analytic philosophy. He became famous for challenging traditional ideas about the mind and for offering a fresh way of understanding human behavior and thought. Born in 1900 in England, Ryle studied at the University of Oxford and later became one of its most influential professors. He was deeply interested in language, logic, and the way philosophical problems arise. Unlike many philosophers before him, Ryle believed that confusion often arises from the misuse of language. Ryle lived during a time when philosophy was becoming more focused on ordinary language and careful analysis. Instead of creating grand metaphysical theories, he examined how words and concepts are actually used in everyday life. This approach helped him identify many hidden errors in traditional philosophy. His most famous work, The Concept of Mind, published in 1949, challenged the domination view that the mind and body are separate substances. Through this book, Ryle introduced several influential ideas, including systematically misleading expression and categorical mistake. To understand his philosophy, we must first explore this concept. Gilbert Ryle argued that many philosophical problems arise because language sometimes misleads us. Certain expressions seem to describe reality correctly, but their grammatical structure creates confusion. He called this expression systematically misleading expression. According to Ryle, language often gives the impression that something exists simply because we have a noun or phrase for it. However, grammar does not always reveal the true logical structure of reality. As a result, philosophers may mistakenly assume the existence of things that are not actually there. For example, when we say the team won the match, the word team appears to refer to a separate object. In reality, the team is simply a collection of individual players acting together. The expression is useful, but it can mislead us if interpreted too literally. Ryle believed that many philosophical debates about the mind, consciousness, and even the self emerged because people misunderstood such expression. They treated linguistic construction as evidence for independent entities, creating unnecessary philosophical puzzle. Therefore, philosophy should carefully analyze language and uncover its hidden logical structure. By doing so, philosophers can resolve many apparent problems rather than trying to solve them through complicated theories. This insight naturally leads us to one of Ryle's most famous concepts, the category mistake. The concept of category mistake lies at the heart of Ryle's philosophy. A category mistake occurs when something is placed into the wrong logical category. In other words, we misunderstand what kind of thing something actually is. Ryle illustrated this idea with a famous example. Imagine a visitor touring a university. The visitor sees the library, classroom, laboratories, and office. After seeing everything, the visitor asks, "But where is the university?" The mistake is assume that the university is another building alongside the other. In reality, the university is not an additional building. It is the organized system formed by all those building people activities. The visitor has misunderstood the logical category to which the university belongs. Ryle argued that similar mistakes frequently occur in philosophy. People often assume that because a concept has a name, it must refer to a separate object or substance. This confusion creates philosophical mysteries that do not actually exist. For Ryle, identifying category mistake was one of philosophy's most important tasks. Once we recognize this error, many long-standing debates begin to disappear. This insight becomes especially significant when we examine traditional theories of the mind. Ryle's most influential contribution appeared in his theory of mind. He rejected the idea that the mind is a hidden entity existing inside the body. Instead, he argued that mental concepts should be understood through observable behavior and disposition. According to Ryle, when we say that someone is intelligent, thoughtful, or kind, we are not referring to mysterious inner object. Rather, we are describing patterns of behavior, abilities, tendencies, and ways of acting in different situations. For example, saying that a student understands mathematics does not mean that a special mental object called understanding exists inside the student mind. It means that the student can solve problems, explain concepts, and apply mathematical principles effectively. Ryle emphasized that mental vocabulary serves as important purpose. It helps us describe how people behave, think, and respond to the world. However, this description should not be mistaken for a reference to invisible mental substance. This perspective became known as a form of logical behaviorism. Although Ryle did not reduce all mental life to simple behavior, he argued that mental concepts gain meaning through their connection with acting and disposition. By redefining mental concepts in this way, Ryle sought to eliminate unnecessary mystery surrounding the mind. His analysis prepared the ground for a powerful critique of one of the most influential theories in Western philosophy, Cartesian Dualism. To understand Ryle's criticism, we must first look at Cartesian dualism, developed by the philosopher René Descartes. This theory claimed that human beings consist of two distinct substances, the physical body and the immaterial mind. According to Descartes, the body occupies space and follows physical laws, while the mind is non-physical and responsible for thinking, feeling, and consciousness. This view became highly influential in modern philosophy. Ryle strongly disagreed with this theory. He argued that Cartesian dualism commits a category mistake. It wrongly treats the mind as if it are a separate thing exists alongside the body, much like an additional object inside a machine. Ryle famously described this mistake as the doctrine of the ghost in the machine. The phrase suggests that dualists imagine a mysterious ghost, like mind, controlling a physical body from within. Ryle believed this picture is fundamentally misleading. In his view, mental activities are not hidden processes occurring in a separate realm. They are expressed through intelligent action, decision making, habit, and behavior. Therefore, there is no need to postulate an independent mental substance. Ryle also argued that dualism creates difficult questions that it cannot answer satisfactorily. For example, if the mind and body are completely different substances, how do they interact? How can a non-physical mind influence a physical body? By rejecting the dualist framework, Ryle believed this problem disappeared. Instead of asking how two different substances interact, we should examine how people actually think, act, learn, and engage with the world around them. Although later philosophers criticized some aspect of Ryle's behaviorism, his attack on Cartesian dualism transformed philosophical discussion about the mind. His ideas continue to influence philosophy, psychology, and cognitive science today. Gilbert Ryle remained one of the most influential philosophers of the 20th century. Through his analysis of language, his theory of systematically misleading expression, his concept of category mistake, and his critique of Cartesian dualism, he challenged traditional assumptions about the mind. By showing how philosophical confusion often arises from misunderstanding of language and logic, Ryle encouraged a clear and more practical approach to philosophy, an approach that continues to shape modern discussion of mind, behavior, and human understanding. if you are still watching. I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.